Hey guys, my name's Kat and this is Katie Reads Books. I am coming back to BookTube after starting BookTube, realizing I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and now this is my second go at BookTube. I'm excited to be coming back with a book tag for the Cyborg Tinkerer by Meg LaTorre. This book tag was started by Marie at Adventures La Marie. I will link her BookTube channel down below so that you can check out her Cyborg Tinkerer book tag as well. I will also leave a link down below for you to purchase the Cyborg Tinkerer, which I would really encourage because I'm about 50% of the way through right now because I'm a turtle reader, but I'm pretty much loving it. The first question on the Cyborg Tinkerer book tag is based on the main character, Gwendolyn Grimm, and the question is, from feisty to sweet, what is your favorite protagonist to read? I like a very self-aware protagonist. I like a protagonist who doesn't mind to be kind of pissy and feisty if that's what they need to do, but I don't like a protagonist who does that to an extreme for no reason. I guess in short, I like a protagonist who drives the plot along by being a protagonist and not by creating their own issues. The second question is based off of our male protagonist slash love interest slash ringleader, and his name is Bastian Kabir. Bastian's question is, not all romances start off on the right foot. What is your favorite romance trope? So I'm a big fan of enemies to lovers done well, but what I'm a bigger fan of is friends to lovers, because I really like to watch this sweet little friendship maybe become a bit tumultuous and then them decide to love each other after that. I like romance tropes where they are choosing to love each other, and what I mean by enemies to lovers done well is whenever they are enemies and then they find a ground of self-respect or of mutual respect, and then they're able to build a love off of that. I feel like both of these tropes can be pretty rushed sometimes, but whenever they're done well, they are just my favorites. Our third question is based off of Aurora Lockwood, who is our second female protagonist, and the question is that some characters will stop at nothing to achieve a goal. So what are some of your favorite character motivations? Some of my favorite character motivations are self-interest. I enjoy a story where the characters are morally gray, where they are maybe not necessarily doing something for the greater good, because I feel like it's more approachable and more believable for a character to be going after something out of self-interest rather than some altruistic goal. Now, I know that an altruistic goal reads well if it's done well, but I feel like personally, and maybe, but I feel like it's just a lot more believable if a character is doing something out of selfishness and then maybe works themselves into being less selfish or realizing a greater good. But if they start off with a selfish motivation, it opens up a lot of ways for the characters to grow, and that's something that I really need to see in my books. Fourth question is based off of Celeste Beckett, and she is our antagonist for the Cyborg Tinkerer. And the question says that some villains are just evil for the sake of evil, and some villains feel that they are a protagonist in their own story. What are your favorite kinds of villains to read? My favorite kind of villain is the one that I can relate to, and it's painful to see them fail. I like villains like Magneto, who they have reasons for doing the things that they're doing, and it might not be in the best interest of the greater good, but to their mind it makes good sense, and I feel like that creates a deeper emotional connection with the villain, which I like to have because I'm a sadist and I really enjoy having that push and pull between the protagonist and the antagonist. So the question is, in science fiction and fantasy, settings can range from magical forests to space battles to a dystopian near future. What is your favorite setting in science fiction and or fantasy, and why? I don't have a particular setting that I enjoy in fantasy and science fiction. I like worlds that are well thought out. I like worlds where they can can maybe go on a mission of discovery and we can explore this huge wide world. I've seen it done well where it's maybe a smaller world, but it's still very engaging. I guess as far as science fiction is concerned, I enjoy stories that are based more on things that happen in the ship, and maybe this is true for fantasy as well. If the setting, I don't want to say the setting doesn't matter because it does, but for me, I prefer to read books that are more character driven. So the setting, as long as it complements the characters and their growth, then is sort of irrelevant. And if the author can write it well and they can give me a really good setting, then it doesn't really matter what it is, it matters whether or not it's done. Question number 6 is Cirque du Bourg, which is the circus that our main protagonists are having all these issues within. And the prompt reads, "Come one, come all." I'm gonna have to look at the screen. "Come one, come all." Yep. "To the mysterious circus of cyborgs." So the question is, what is your favorite book that takes place in a circus or has a competition? I know that the book community is not happy with J.K. Rowling right now. I am not happy with J.K. Rowling right now, but the Goblet of Fire competitions were fucking cool. And I also really liked the Hunger Games. My favorite book with a competition, I wasn't like a blatant competition, but Skyward by Brandon Sanderson has you're following the main character who is Spinza, and you follow her as she's like advancing through this really intense class curriculum, and it's not really a competition as much as it is like not as many of you are going to make it through here as you would like to think. And I think that was probably my favorite setup because it didn't involve like brutal murderings, which I'm not against, but like of course there were going to be a bunch of people who died in the Hunger Games, right? And then it didn't involve anything super unbelievable to the world. So I really enjoyed it, and again, the character growth that particular plot device ended up manifesting, I feel, was really tangible, whereas in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the character growth wasn't as tangible, and the same, I think, can be said from the Hunger Games. Katniss's growth was more like into trauma, where I feel like Spence's growth was more into her whole person. It was more of like a coming of age within this competition that she was going through. So it was more interesting to me. Question number 7 is The Scarlet Dragon, and it says that, oh, I'm so bad at memorizing scripts. It says something along the lines of, we're just going to read it. Some obstacles are armies, while others are sharp talons and teeth. What is your favorite kind of obstacle midway through a book before the climax? So something that I love to see in a book is that during this climax, when all the shit's going down, my dog on the stairs, when all the shit's going down, we have like this interpersonal conflict that comes out between the characters, and it's like, oh, we can't move on with solving this big world problem until our characters have really resolved this tension between them. And I really enjoy being able to see that play out well before we reach like the final battle or the, whatever it is that we're heading toward. Question number 8. When she falls for both. I'm just not even going to pretend that I can memorize these. You guys are just going to like see me looking off camera. So sorry, I'm unprofessional. Love triangles. Some people love them, some people hate them. What is your favorite love triangle you've seen in books? Or what is your least favorite love triangle you've read? So, love triangles, I really like them a lot. I think probably my favorite one that I've read most recently, which you'll see in my Fuckathon wrap-up, which should be up here in the next week or so, Actually, it's coming out in like the middle of the month because I have other stuff that I have to do soon. But anyway, is my favorite love triangle so far has been three-way split. And it's mostly because they end up all together at the end, and I'm like super for polyamory. And we had these three characters who, like, I didn't really like the female protagonist all that much, but the two male protagonists were super sweet, and I just really liked the fact that the three of them were able to kind of join up in the end, and it ended up settling out really well, I thought. Let's see, another love triangle. I mean, not to be like super pluggy, I guess, but the love triangle in the Cyborg Tinkerer is shaping up to be very, very interesting, and I'm enjoying it. It's definitely in one of my top love triangles. We'll see how it resolves. I'm trying to think of other books I've read with love triangles. I read, what is that one by Carissa Clare? That's the Mortal Instruments series. It's like the first trilogy of the Mortal Instruments series, like City of Glass, City of Bones, City of... There's a third one. Anyway, I liked the love triangle that happened there, but I didn't like that Simon got shafted at the end because he was my favorite. Again, we're just going to read it from the screen. I'm also going to learn how to look at my camera. This number 9, the spaceship Obedient. In science fiction, the spaceship often acts as its own character, whether sentient or not. An entire world is often held inside a hunk of metal, or within the gravitational field in the case of the Cyborg Tinkerer. What is your favorite ship from a story, or what is your favorite form of space travel? My favorite ship from a story is the fucking Enterprise from Star Trek, because I love that. Also, I really like, and I can't remember the name because I'm terrible, and I borrowed it from the library, which means I can't look it up right this second. I guess I could Google it. We're gonna Google it. But it's the one from Skyward, because he's just so, like, he's so innocent, and he only wants to follow his directive, and I just love it. So Skyward ship. No, I don't want the categories. It has a name. Name of the ship from Skyward. Really? Come on. By Brandon Sanderson. Mbot! Yes, I loved Mbot. I think that the ships from that whole book are really fucking cool. So, yeah, Mbot probably, as far as sentient ships are concerned, I really like Mbot. As far as, like, regular space travel ships are concerned, Enterprise from Star Trek. And there's a couple of really cool ships in Doctor Who as well, particularly the Space Whale. So there's a lot of good ones, but definitely I think Enterprise, and then Mbot, and then all the other cool ones. Number 10, the Cyborgs. Not everyone is lucky enough to have been born into a loving family. Sometimes they find that love through others like them. What is your favorite story about finding family, whether it's through long lost relatives, when a character thought they had none, or adopting people into their family? So, this is probably a lot to do with the fact that I just finished this trilogy, but I really, 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 really love the fact that Vin from the Mistborn series, hang on, I've got that book on hand. Vin from Mistborn, yes, she found her family after feeling like her brother had left her, and just the entire trilogy is so sweet, and it hits you right in the feels, and I love her family that she finds, and I love how at the end of the trilogy she's perfectly content with how everything falls into place. There was nothing that I think I could have improved upon with that book. I loved it so much. So yes, definitely Vin finding her family with the crew in Mistborn Era 1. Okay, so that's all the questions that are on the Cyborg Tinkerer book tag. Let's see if there's anybody that I can tag to do this. I don't know if these people will think like want to do it since they haven't read the Cyborg Tinkerer yet, unless they've gotten it as an arc. But let's go ahead and tag Ladette M. Let's go ahead and tag, let's see, does Septima like science fiction? I don't think I've seen any on her stuff yet. I don't know. I don't know if you're, I don't know. We're gonna try it. We're gonna tag Ladette M. We're going to tag Septimus Snape, and we're going to tag Casey is Booked, because she's a co-host of a read-along that we're announcing very soon. So I hope that you enjoyed my answers to the Cyborg Tinkerer book tag. You should totally check out Meg LaTorre's channel and the book itself, which I will link to both of those in the description box below. If you want to support this channel, hit subscribe. Don't forget to ding the bell to make sure that you're getting notifications. Follow me on all the social medias. Leave a comment to what your favorite tropes are. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!